Have you been eclipsed and full moon fritzed lately? What that means is just for reasons that you can't explain, there's been an intensity in the atmosphere that was precipitated by a recent eclipse that will affect us for the next 6 months, and a full moon that happened just a few days ago that will affect us for the next few weeks, all serving the purpose to flush up and bring to our awareness what isn't serving us and what is. So even though the experience is uncomfortable, sort of like a rotor-rooter cleaning the sewer pipes, it's not a good experience, but the flush is a big relief and gets things moving and flowing again. My name's Sonia Choquette. Welcome to my channel. I'm so glad you're here. If you're here for the first time, your spirit might have led you here. No accidents, maybe a bit of a vibrational match. So I hope you stay with me and maybe you'll find some things here that could really make your life easier. If you're coming back, welcome back. As you know, we've been working very, very hard and very focused on raising our energetic consciousness, raising our vibration, letting the heaviness of our past go, awakening our spirit, and moving into the fifth dimension of who we are. Now, I just want to go back and just reestablish what that means. You know, the physical third dimension is your physical body, the physical world. And for a lot of people, it feels like that's all there is. They call that the quote-unquote real world. But science definitely disavows us of those perceptions. We are energetic beings. We are mental beings. And have you had recently, because our mental body, which is part of the fourth dimension, is really activating some intuitive abilities. For example, how's your telepathy lately? Do you just absolutely know what another person's thinking or what they really mean, where maybe a year ago that wasn't quite as evident? Or have you been thinking of someone and bam, there they show up, or have some kind of sudden flash or inspiration, and then the opportunity to play that out shows up very quickly? It's exciting, isn't it? Now that's the fourth dimension. That's your telepathic, mental, energetic body. The other element of that is your emotions. Have you noticed emotions really activating and not just heavy emotions, but have you noticed a different response to what might have been in the past heavy emotions? Instead of feeling, oh man, I'm trapped in this, have you noticed it all? Just being curious about it? Like, I wonder why I'm feeling so heavy. If you haven't moved into that, I encourage you to move into that, because we are learning to purge energies that no longer serve us. So I want to talk about two things today that are really important. The first is we are in an energetic transformational period where things are changing, shifting up, and a lot of the old is resurfacing. Not to haunt you, not to grab onto you, but to allow you to know that maybe it's sort of like when you put something in storage and you forget it's there, but it's still there, and you're still paying for the storage space. I mean, I just had this experience a few months ago when I left Chicago and moved to Europe. It was a decade ago almost. I was sifting through so much, and it was so dramatic that I put a lot that I thought I needed into a storage space. It was a pretty big one for that matter. I mean, it was stuffed. Over the years, I would revisit, and because it got more and more expensive. You know, the way the storage spaces work, they'd start charging very little at first, like, $20, who cares? But eventually it's like $2,000, and it just sneaks up on you. So when it would be raised, I'd go back and check. It's like, well, what do I need that I need to pay this monthly fee to hold on to that I do not use, that does not serve me, and that I just have some sentimental attachment to? Well, over the years, I've had a smaller and smaller and smaller storage space, but the prices haven't really become less. So now, a few months ago, I realized nothing in that storage space is of any value to me. Nothing. So little value to me that I don't even want to sell it. I just want to get rid of it and put it in the hands of people that might actually value it. So as I was going through it, there were things that were so peculiar. Like, why did I keep this salad spinner? Why did I keep these Swedish warming socks? Just really incredibly funny things that I stuffed away. Well, the whole point of this story is that on a psychic level, on a subconscious level, that's what this recent eclipse and recent full moon, as you hear this, is inviting us to do, is to empty our storage space. And believe me, it's not a pretty sight initially. It's like, oh my God, where'd all this stuff come from? And why am I holding on to it? And here's something funny. That's not even mine. How'd that get in here? So if you're finding that you're flashing back on the past, or how about this, which has happened to me, people from the past sort of jack in the box back into your life out of nowhere, it's because they're in your psychic storage space and holding you to a lower vibration, and you don't even know it. I had a recent birthday, and when my birthday came, quite strangely, people I have not heard from in years, like 20 years, people I haven't heard from since I moved away 10 years ago, people that hadn't crossed my mind, but at one point in my life were connected to me. Some good, some way not good. All popped up again. Happy birthday, or thinking of you. And it was a shock to my system because these energies, it told me these energies were still connected to me or trying to be. So if you've had that experience where you've had a surge of the past and people or situations trying to grab onto you or imply a connection that you're not feeling, cut it out. Cut that cord. One of the ways you can cut a cord, I want to show you today, it's really easy, is you just take a breath in through the nose, and you place your hands like this, across your heart, cross like this, and just cut. Just whoosh, and energetically sever those attachments. A lot of people say, well, what, does that hurt someone? But it doesn't. It just cuts the connection. So if that person is cut out, they'll feel it. And they will try, most likely, to reattach. But then you can consciously decide if you want that connection now. For example, I had a relationship with someone that I worked with who, for a while, we had a really good time, but then it got wonky. The relationship wasn't equal. I found myself carrying that person, and he was dragging me down, and we had a lot of arguments. And I just said 10 years ago, we're done. We've had a good run. Wish you well, and I need to just do my own thing. Well, at the time, that's not what he wanted to hear. Felt so good to me. Comes back around. Hey, how are you? As if we never had that ended. Thinking of you, missing you, want to check in. Seems simple and innocent enough on the surface, but I felt the claw, just meow. So I was really brief about it. I'm good. I hope you're good. Take care. Cut the cord. Don't want that person back in my life. It doesn't feel like that would add a thing to me. It would just drag me down. No foul, no guilt. We're done. That's all. It happens. We've had a run and we're done. But that's part of what this eclipse and this full moon might flesh up for you. People you've left behind, relationships you haven't resolved, or present relationships that all of a sudden bug you. It's like, we've been friends for a long time, but I don't want to hear one more snarky remark from you and pretend I didn't hear it. I had a client tell me that she was having lunch with a longtime girlfriend, And her girlfriend said, you know, you look really good, except your neck is looking really lousy. Now, who says that? Who says that loves you? Nobody that loves you would necessarily notice that. And she said, I didn't know what to say about that. And I said, what you say doesn't matter. What you choose to do after that is put that person outside of your inner sacred circle. You don't want anybody in your inner circle whom you don't feel absolutely 100% safe to be yourself with, without being self-conscious or being scrutinized on the surface. So these are the kinds of choices we get to make. I have another client, a gentleman, who said that his brother, whom he hadn't really had a great relationship with, had resurfaced and they hadn't talked in maybe 7 or 8 years, other than maybe a Christmas card or, just real superficial encounter and nothing face to face. Wrote him and said, I miss you a lot and I'd love to see you. Can I come? And it really threw him for a loop. He said, I didn't know whether that was a sincere gesture to move to a new place, or it was just just a way to reattach. I wasn't sure. And I said, well, ask him. That's something else we can do, is renegotiate. People do evolve. People do change. Have a conversation and say, this is, a lovely gesture. I'm not really sure what your motivations are. And can we just, investigate this a little further before we connect? Because I don't want to have it be a negative encounter. And I don't know what's going to happen with them, but I really said, we get to negotiate. We get to communicate who we are today and what we want today to the people in our life, and they get a choice. Either they'll vibrationally get it, match that, and share their needs as well, or get offended and worked up because you're changing, in which case it's time. That's an end ship. It's like time to say bye-bye. And you can do it lovingly. You can do it neutrally, but don't do it with guilt. And here's some of the benefits of using this eclipse, full moon, roto-rooter, flush it out, take a look at things again time, is that all of this in your subconscious or in your body or is holding on to you does affect you physically. You'll find it's hard to sleep. That's like universal. Everybody's waking up in the middle of the night. You'll find it hard to be present. You'll find yourself preoccupied, agitated, depressed. I've had quite a few clients call me lately and saying, so depressed all of a sudden. It's like, well, those might be depressing experiences you've had in your life that you had to shove down, that you couldn't process in the moment. For example, I have a client who had a very difficult relationship with her father. He was a tough person to relate to. He was critical, he was toxic, he was controlling. She was devoted to him. He just passed a couple months ago, and she said, I don't know, afterwards, it's now 3-4 months, and all of a sudden I'm depressed. And I don't know why. My life couldn't be better. And I said, that's just depression that you kind of parked in your body and in your unconscious because you couldn't afford to be depressed when he was alive. You were his caretaker. He wasn't well. You were working full time. You couldn't process those feelings and emotions. So that's what this eclipse and what this full moon are doing. It's like, hey, you put this in your storage space. And do you still want it? Because you cannot heal what you don't reveal. And so a lot of things that need to be addressed and released first need to be noticed. So you might find a wave of depression that catches you by surprise. And what you can do with that is you can certainly take it to a therapist. That's always helpful, but take it for a walk. Just go for a nice long walk or a lot of daily short walks and just tell your inner self, if this is just old depression I never really managed to address or feel, then I'm ready to let it go and just see what happens. This isn't a bypass. This is a conscious choice. Do I really want to go through this again? Or can I let it go? That was a difficult time. I don't need to feel it again. I guess I didn't fully feel it in the moment, but it doesn't have to affect me anymore. I had a wonderful conversation with a friend who was visiting me, and we were talking about the difficult time I had and the many ways in which I was really committed to healing, and it was a struggle from the time my brother died and my marriage ended. I had years that was really difficult to feel better, but finally I do. And I had to really address those things that were causing me to feel unworthy or to feel energetically depleted or where I had betrayed myself. I mean, no stone unturned. And he looked me in the eyes and he says, I'm saying this with all the love in my heart. Can this just be over? And I thought, I could choose that. I said, yeah, I want this to be over. I'm going to choose to let it be over and be present. Again, not a bypass, not shoving anything down, just over it. That's what the rotor-rooter of the eclipse and the full moon are inviting us to do, is to flush stuff up, look at this stuff and ask, is there anything here that's worth holding on to? Or can I choose my spirit that's only in this body for so long? Let it go. That's a huge leap into the fifth dimension, into the spirit of you, and into the self-love of the spirit of you. I hope this might give you some food for thought. Maybe manage some of this. You know what'll happen if you do look at this and decide what needs to go consciously. You'll sleep better. You'll relax. You'll find yourself laughing more spontaneously. And more than anything, you will know deep in your heart, everything's okay. I'm okay. Everything's going to be okay. And I can actually start enjoying my life again. So that's my message for this week, beloveds. I hope it might have a kernel of interest for you. If it does, please give me a thumbs up. I really want your comments because they really let me know that, A, we're connecting. I'm interested in your experience. I want to address your concerns and share your joy and your victories. So leave comments, a thumbs up, and if you really, really love it, please subscribe. And join this community that we're building, because it's a good one. And we'd love to have you part of it. So I'll see you next week. All my love.